Welcome to NuttieBuddie Entertainment. The good.
That's okay. That's good. That's all right. That's okay.
Okay, let's start with Brandon this time. Brandon, what's one of your good of the movie?
Okay, so this is I kind of have two sides to this coin a little bit. The good is rewatching it now. I thought the CGI looked very good for the time when the movie was made, and going back then. Okay, I have some gripes I'll share later, but I felt like it wasn't as horrible as I was like expecting it to be. Like I shared, okay, we went back and watched the first X-Men movie not too long ago, and that was it's funny bad. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
whoa, we thought this was cool. Like, and I know, like, okay,
Yeah.
technology's leaps and bounds jumped recently in the last like 10 years.
Right.
But like I'm like, it wasn't, I should say this. It was good enough to keep me like in the movie and not like bad enough to like pull me out of it and be like, oh God, that looks so fake. And I will say there's something about like the way they shot this movie that I thought was good, because there's a lot of like newer Marvel movies that are kind of like not bad in the CGI. I'm not like a CGI hater by any means, but like I just feel like this was like there's a lot of practical stuff in this movie that looked decent for the most part. And like it's not to the point where they're like CGIing. What did they just CGI in like that Spider-Man movie, like the brick that came in the window? They weren't doing it like to that extreme, right?
Yeah.
So like I felt like it was good. Like when I watched it, I was like, it didn't pull me out of the movie. I enjoyed it. The Hulk is all CGI, right? So like it wasn't like it was bad, but yeah, but I have like one thing to share about that in my like, maybe it's not like in the next segment.
Okay, the bad. Yeah. Okay.
Stick around, subscribe,
Yeah.
smash like. You're gonna hear it in the next segment.
You hear it all. Yeah. Okay, Brian, what's your first good?
My first good is I like the intro into the movie, how they got around the origin story by just, having that kind of beginning. So you knew everything leading up to where he was in the time. I thought they did a really good job instead of us having to kind of sit through like how he became the Hulk and, where he is now. I think they did a good job with that. I like that intro.
Why didn't they do that more? That was so good. Did they do that
I know.
anymore? Like, I feel like that was a quick, like 2-minute intro of like, now you know. So good.
Yeah, don't you think though part of it too is because they just came out with the Hulk, so everybody kind of knew the origins. Like Spider-Man, in the MCU, they didn't do an origin story with him this time because we saw it twice already. Or like when they redid Ben Affleck's Batman, they didn't do another origin story with Ben Affleck. He was just Batman. But I agree. Like I love that they did that because we didn't need to rehash the whole gamma and the science experiment gone wrong. Yeah. I'll do my first good. I like the tone and the atmosphere of this movie. It was kind of a nice little change up from the normal Marvel. Like, you talk about there are some times when we could have maybe used a little quip here or there, but the fact that there wasn't so many was kind of refreshing. Like it took itself very seriously, the tone of the movie, and I kind of like that. It's in my good because I have a little bit of a problem with it, and we'll talk about it when we get to the next segment. But for the most part, just the fact it took itself seriously, it kind of was a little bit more darker, grittier than most Marvel movies. It wasn't like a punchline every other sentence. I really enjoyed that about this movie. It was very refreshing.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, any other good?
I had, Heart Rate Watch was in my good. I also had Edward Norton's Hulk in my good. Yeah, I'm still in the air if I like him or Mark Ruffalo's version of it, but he definitely did a good job of playing him. I think he was more of a realistic Banner just because like we got to see him as a scientist where we don't really get to see Mark too much as a scientist. I don't know, in some of the movies, especially when we were introduced to him in like the Avengers, but other than that, I really liked the Rio chase scene and the fight scene as well for in the movie, like when they're running through the city trying to chase him, as well as like when they find him in the factory and then he turns into the Hulk. That was a really good scene.
Yeah, no, I agree. That whole that beginning sequence, I'm telling you, man, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Any other good? Okay, go ahead,
I
Brandon.
was gonna say the one that just popped in my brain. I really liked the sequence of just when I forget Mr. Blue is making the abomination when his
Yeah.
brain like swelled, like he just was like again, I was watching this with my daughter and she goes, he's evil, he's bad, he's up to something. And it was just like, yeah, he's just like this like quirky, crazy scientist, like madman guy. Oh, also good, which okay, I don't have his name up right now, but the teacher in Spider-Man, which was he's the Freaks and Geeks guy. Maybe he's not the Freaks and Geeks guy. Oh, now the teacher in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
He was the scientist in the lab. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, that's a great little
teaser.
Yeah, like I enjoy that. I like that actor. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but I was like, oh, that was really kind of a fun. It was fun to see that. And then I was also wondering why they don't got the guy from Modern Family in the MCU more. Come on, man.
Phil Dunphy. Yeah.
He's like,
when I saw him on screen, I was like, yes.
There was definitely a few actors that you're like, whoa, they were in this movie. I forgot that. Because even I know Betty Ross, Liv Tyler, I forgot totally that she was in this, but I mean, I liked her in the movie. This is just like a benign statement, but man, did she get treated horrible in this movie. She got like set on fire like 10 times.
Yeah.
And she survived.
Exactly.
Yeah. To go back though to one of the Mr. Blue, right? Which is Samuel Stern, Dr. Stearns. He is so this was part of my good. They actually set him up to be the next villain in the next movie called The Leader.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think he was supposed to be the villain in the next movie, and the leader is more of an intelligent foe of the Hulks who has like a little bit of telekinesis and telepathic powers, among other things.
Did he get that from the gamma?
Yeah.
Like blood?
Yeah,
from
gotcha. Gamma radiation. Yep.
Yeah. So I thought that was good as well. I had General Ross as a good in this movie. I don't know why I didn't have him as a great, but I was just thinking of things to be good. Yeah. But I really liked him in this movie. It would have been nice to see him as the Red Hulk. Unfortunately, we probably won't get that.
Yeah.
Tony Stark I had as a good. I was happy he showed up.
Okay.
But there is one reason why I don't have him in my good, and we'll talk about that when we get to the next couple categories. But it was nice to be like, hey, I hear you have a problem. We got a team. That was kind of a cool moment in the theater if you were there to kind of see that. So that was pretty awesome. Okay, are we good with the good?
Yeah.
Good with the good. Okay, let's get to the bad. Thanks so much for listening to our review of this movie, doing the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let us know in the comments below what is your great, good, bad, and ugly, or if you have a problem with one of ours, or even if you agree with us. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out our podcast in one of the links below. Also, follow me on Instagram at NuttieBuddie_Entertainment. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.